I am standing underneath a church. The church is called Panagia Yodhitria. It means the Virgin Mary who leads you into the right path. Of course, the path is the most treacherous part, because in Greece, what you see is never what you get. You have to work for whatever you get, even a cup of coffee, and certainly the right path. If you were to walk up there, and I'm way too old to do it, if you were to walk way up there, you would see a beautiful little teeny church built into the cave. Now, who the hell went to build a church into a cave? We don't know, we don't care. Because that church was probably a temple in the oldest days when Knossos and Thalasarna and all those Minoans, those fake Egyptians, were ruling this island and shipping Egyptian goods all over the world. But at that time, there were always people up in the hills. And up in the hills is where they built their little churches, because they were so impressed themselves. The Greeks never stopped being impressed by what is around them. Because you see a rock, you see a formation, you see suddenly a little valley with goats grazing, you see all these things that normally make no sense to have in any particular landscape. Every single inch of this island, even though it looks at first view to be barren and ridiculous and who would want to live here, is actually useful. Something is going on. A little weed is growing, or a little herb that you can only find in this particular hill that people come from all over the island to pick, because this is what we're all about. Greece is a country that is the most difficult and yet the safest and most fun to be in. It has been like this for 5,000, 7,000, 12,000 years. They have found remains, people from the Neolithic age and the Paleolithic age, and you name it. People have been living on this land that we are standing in front of right now forever. And why are they living here? Well, what is it that makes them want to stay here in this country? It's very difficult. The winter is windy and wet and horrible. You need to get into places and you're always getting sick. And in the summer it's way too hot, as the tourists who come here will tell you. And behind us is a little path. In the summer, millions of tourists go up and down this thing, endangering their cars and their lives, just to look at a rock or to look at a specific beach, to look at the aquamarine water, the turquoise, the blue sea, the blue sky, the sun. And you're always getting burned, and you're basically unhappy, and all you need is a place to go and stay that has air conditioning and or whatever. That's in the summer. In the winter, you're always in the middle of some traffic or some horrible rain or some horrible something. And yet people come here and have been living here forever and ever, more than likely just to be able to enjoy a specific view of a rock that looks like a person counterpointed against the baby blue sky. This is part of our lives. Now what happens here is every single day counts for itself. The freedom of being in Greece. The Greeks are great freedom mongers. They find freedom to be the most important aspect of their lives. This is probably why it attracts so many dictators over the years, from Pericles on down to Metaxas, to the colonels of the junta, and whoever has always dictated to the Greeks. But nevertheless, their greatest desire is to be free to enjoy the little tiny things of life, which any one day could be the last day you ever see them. Life here is composed of a series of days, each one of which is an entire lifetime. An entire lifetime of being able to enjoy what there is around you, get the most benefit out of it, and learn from it, and find out how to live properly in such a hostile environment that is the earth. For all its beauty and all its fecundity and abundance and gorgeousness, the earth is actually a hostile place to live. It wasn't really made for humans. It was made for wild animals to roam around, for the dinosaurs and the wild boars. Because, as a human, to live on this earth, you have to build shelter, you have to find food, you have to find water, and it's all difficult for human beings. We're not really made to be able to find water in the hills. We have to work for it. We have to dig wells and we have to bring it out. You'd look at the goats and they find water. They don't have to dig any wells because they were adapted. They've adapted to this environment. For the human beings, it's always a big, huge struggle. And why do we struggle to live here? Why can't we just, for example, just be wild animals and live in the caves? Why do we wish to find a better path, to find the spirituality, to find the meaning of life, whatever the hell that is? Well, it's all down here, and it's all dictated in a way by the divinities. Greeks have always been into their divinities, the powers, the big powers that live up on some mountain that came to us from the heavens, the titans and this and that. And then the Christians made them all change shape and change names, but they're still the same people, and they still have little culty caves and little chapels, little places of worship and sacrifice frailties for a moment to try and become divine along with them, to learn from them them, and to find the right way to survive and to be good to other people. Not that it's a big priority here, everybody's for themselves. They invented dog eat dog in this country. But nevertheless, each dog has a way of being good to other dogs if they will just leave them alone to eat what they have found to eat. I guess to eat is the big deal, but to eat is not the only thing. It is to be able to be one with the environment, to become the rock, and the rock to become you, to become the person in the cave, and the cave to become you, so that you can, when you go to sleep at night, you can say, I've done something today. Today I looked at a rock that looked like a human being, that reminded me of some greater power than myself. And I guess this is what it is. To find the proper path is to find what there is out there that is greater than yourself, so that you can enjoy your littleness, you can enjoy the tiny details of your ordinary life. This is what's going on. Because they want to know what I'm talking about, and what I'm talking about is something extremely simple, and it's so very complicated. It's something that I'm saying that I don't even understand what I'm saying, because it is so much bigger than me, and the only way to understand it is to become one with the little tiny things, to become one with a pebble, to become one with the wind and the clouds. I'm not trying to be trite, it is a fact. To be free, to become one with nature, even a nature as basically primordially hostile to human beings. It's full of thorns and full of rocks that can hurt you, and you can climb over them, but you don't really get anywhere, because when you reach the top of the mountain, there's always another mountain to find. The same with the horizon. You go, you sail out. This is the big deal with the Greeks, to sail and find the other horizons. You arrive at the end of the horizon, you see another piece of land, you see more horizon and more horizon. And where the hell is it all going to? Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to come back from all these horizons, from all these mountains and all these herbs and rocks, and just be able to sit down and have a coffee. Sit down and have a nice meal. This is the nature of happiness. To be able to sit down with the person that you love and have a meal and say, you know, I had a heck of a day today. And the other person will say, well, what did you do? And you say, well, I went for a walk in the mountain. And you look at your legs and full of scrapes from the rocks and the thorns, and you go, yeah, but the experience was worth it. The experience is all that matters.